Hey everybody, Eric Hayden here from the Rose Garden in the rain. You might say, why am I outside in the rain? There is some sunshine, but I'm doing something special today. I've been waiting to do this, not waiting for the rain, but just kind of going back and forth exactly how I was going to do this. Finally made my decision to root some cuttings, specifically Fortuniana. If you've watched the last couple videos, I've been waiting to prepare this. I don't have a mister. I'm going to try my best to keep these things wet and enclosed. I've got the spot over in the shade over there, so we're good to go. The reason why I'm doing this now, it's actually raining a little bit, and you really want to keep these things as moist as possible. So I cut some Fortuniana whips or suckers. I'll show you where I got those from my some of my plants. And these plants I've had that they suckered from for a couple years, so they are virus free. I've already done my 10 to 12 inch segment, what you're looking for. Again, I'm trying to keep these in water as much as I can, but I'm gonna try to do this with one hand and kind of show you how we're doing things. I've got a couple sets of leaves up top. I'm gonna remove these two down below, so we're gonna take those off. I should have one of my kids helping me with this. So we removed the bottom two leaves. So I'm going to put that back underwater. So as you can see right now, just a couple sets of leaves on top. I've got two bud eyes down below. Some folks remove these and other folks don't. I'm actually going to remove them because I think it makes for a better plant. So I'm going to set this down and see if I can set this up and kind of show you how we do things here, at least how I'm going to do things. So here's our bud eye. With my clippers, I'm just going to lightly remove that bud eye. Hopefully you can see that okay. Just going to remove that one because I do want to graft onto these, so I really don't want this bud eye on there. So I've removed my bud eye. I'm going to dip it back in the water again. So both bud eyes have been removed that were lower on the stem. And then most folks do say to kind of remove lightly some of the outer bark. This will aid in propagation. So as I'm doing this very, very lightly, I don't want to remove a lot. I'm kind of scratching that off, and you can see there that I've got a good area and surface area for the rose to produce roots from. I'm going to do it just a little bit more. Again, just ever so slightly, taking that outside layer off. Keep dipping it in the water. I'm going to recut it at an angle, so I've got as much surface area exposed to the rooting hormone that we're about to use here in a second. So that's skimmed up pretty good. There it is there. So I'm going to move the camera. I keep putting it underwater so everything's good. So here's my finished stock that I'm going to do. Again, the top two bud eyes or top couple sets of leaves are still there. Down below, the bud eyes have been removed, and I just kind of scoured the edges of the cane itself. This is where the roots will come out of. Fresh cut, and I did it at an angle on the bottom because I want the widest surface area for roots. My cut on top is horizontal because I don't want as much area exposed, and I keep dipping it in the water to keep it fresh. I'm going to shape it off. What I decided to go with was Dip and Grow. It has 1.0% of, I think it's IBA, and 0.5 of something else. So it was a little bit stronger than the powdered varieties. I've had success with the powdered varieties with regards to regular cuttings, whether that be just trying to root and make a copy of a rose. Fortuniana, from what I've been told, is harder to root. That's why most folks use a misting house. Since I don't have that, I said I'll go stronger with the rooting hormone. So there's different dilutions that you can mix this at. There's a 5-to-1 ratio. I don't know if you can see it on there. It's 5-to-1 for softwood, 10-to-1 for softwood and hardwood, and pure hardwood would be 15-to-20. Or excuse me, I've got that backwards. 5-time dilution would be for your true hardwoods. Your 10-time dilution would be semi-hardwoods. And then once you get into softwoods, you don't need as strong of a rate, so you can do 20 times. I kept it at about 7.5. And the reason for that is, again, I want it to be on that more concentrated threshold. You can see I've got the bottom certainly in there. I've got the area that I scoured in the hormone or the rooting solution, and I'm tilting this a little bit because some of my bud eyes, when I removed, they were kind of high, so I want to make sure they get on it too. So any wounds to this, I'm making sure that it's in that solution. It should be in there at least 5 seconds. We've certainly done that. And this is where you stick the cutting straight into your rooting medium, press around it, and you're good to go. And again, I'll continue to keep these wet by misting them until I get that lid on so that they do not dry out. So that's what I'm working on today. Went a little slow, but the bottom line, 10 to 12 inch segments. Remove the lower bud eyes. That will give you a little bit of a scrape on the cane itself, but I'll re-scrape it a little bit because that's where our roots are going to come out of. And we'll see how many more I get. One thing I want to point out, some of these whips are really good, you know, at the bottom end where they connected. You want about pencil thickness, and I certainly have that. So we can probably make 2 or 3 more off of this one. But as it gets toward the end, it gets very thin and wavy. We won't use that section. Again, you want it to be semi-hard, so kind of straight. This one on the left is probably ideal. This one may be a hair too thick, but we'll see what happens. Some of them I just cut just so that you can see what I'm not going to use. This is really soft. You can see I just broke it. It's so pliable. I mean, if you want to try it, you can try to root it, but you're probably not going to have as much success with that. So I'll get going on that. I just want to quickly show you where I got these suckers from. Again, any grafted plant, if it's grafted on Dr. Huey, Multiflora, Fortuniana, if you have growth below the graft, that's what's called a sucker. It's the actual rootstock that's coming up. It's not as likely on Multiflora or Dr. Huey. It can happen, but here's the example on Signature. You can see this big cane coming out. You know it's something different because look at the leaves on Signature compared to the rootstock. Much different. And then if you get down there, there's the graft, and this is coming from below the graft itself. I haven't had Signature for a while, so this is a good cane to root on. The only thing I'm leery about is I'm trying to root on suckers that have been with me, at least the plant, the mother plant has been with me for 3 years, and I have not observed virus. This Signature I've only had for a year, so even though this is a good one to root, I'm leery about using it because I don't know if this mother plant has virus or not. It's not showing any signs, but so far what I've taken is ones like Cajun Moon I've had for 3 years, hasn't shown virus. Could it still show up? Of course, but if I want to get into propagation, I want to have clean stock to go forward. We'll last leave you with this. This is why we grow it. Look at that bloom. A little bit of raindrops on it. That's Dublin, looking great in the garden today. Hope everyone's doing well. I'll update you 4 to 6 weeks from now if those took or not. I'm cautiously optimistic with that stronger rooting hormone that I'm going to have more success this time around. Have a good one, everybody.